Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Birdbird the Nerd with another show for you guys this morning. I don't know what to say, but yeah, just waiting on some of the fellas to come through. We only have Fedora today. Pickles is got a family thing going on, and I don't know if you guys are aware, if I've said anything, but Darth Lopez has decided to leave the show. No hard feelings whatsoever. It's just kind of a decision he wanted to make. I've seen him on a couple shows. He left the show. He kind of informed us last week that he didn't want to do the show anymore. But I've seen him on a couple shows on, I think, Solomon Clay's show yesterday. He's got a new avatar now, and he's doing his own thing. So we wish him luck and all the best and all that fluff, whatever you want to call it. But no, it's just kind of like his own decision. It wasn't anything of malice or, there was no arguments on the side. It's just, I think he just didn't really want to do market stuff, which is cool, whatever. Yeah, we'll just go on with the show today. I'm still waiting on Fedora to come through. I don't personally have a lot of stuff. I've been tracking kind of like my comic book finds and stuff. And lately I've been doing a lot more video game stuff. I've been doing a lot more video game collecting, going on back on Whatnot, buying some new video games. But I know absolute what Batman's the big thing right now. But I think should be doing really well, which is great. We always like to see that type of stuff. But my heart's gonna eat whatever. I'm hungry. Anyway, I don't know where the heck Fedora is. He was messaging me earlier this morning, but let me get ready. He says, let me get ready. I'm on West Coast time. It's 9:30. It's noon, Fedora. Literally, you should be ready like 3 hours ago. I've been up since 6. I'm just kidding. He's young. Anyway, let's say hi to the chat while we... Yes, and I do have a kitty cat for a cup this morning. What's going on, Michael Baker? I think there is some spawn on this list. This is not my list, so I don't want to take any credit for it, nor don't want to take any heat for it as well. I'm just kidding. But good to see you on the show. DJ Wise, what's going on? You guys aren't following DJ Wise on YouTube. Give him a follow. And yeah, good luck, bro. Darth Lopez. We'll miss you. I don't know where he's going. He just kind of he just basically he just said he just was going to pitch his idea to a couple shows, and I told him to start his own channel, honestly, but because I don't know how long this channel is going to last. So we'll see, just with time permitting, and obviously people not showing up. So anyway, what's up, Mojo Quid? Good to see you. Hi. Oh, I think I'm a baker. And yeah. So yeah, not really. Actually, you have quite a bit of shows going on right now, or quite a bit of slides today from what Fedora is doing. So I think you guys will enjoy it. It's more geared towards I would say people always ask what are the top 10 books you should hold for a prolonged period of time, and I think we talked about probably half these books before. We haven't really gotten to reasons why these books are long-term holds or what have you. And so Fedora did a really good job with these slides and just kind of the reasoning and what have you with these specific comics. I think the price points are pretty good. They're, these books haven't really moved a ton up or down lately. So I think when you're thinking about investing in books for a longer period, especially modern keys or bronze even, and you need to understand that you should be investing in books that will hold the value they currently have of what you bought it at, because it's a lot easier for books to go down. And so I think that's kind of the hardest part about books. I think people get caught up in why isn't this book gone up? I'm more of looking at it has this book gone down from the price point that I bought it out, and why? And so you have to kind of go into that investing field. I do that with everything I invest in. I do that with real estate. I do that with stocks. I do that with groceries, which is specifically why you should do this with comics too. And Yeah, 100%. DJ Wise, it's lasts as long as you're enjoying it, and yeah. And DJ, when's your next live, man? Let me know. I try and catch your like past shows, like when I'm just kind of messing around. But yeah, let us know when your next live show is, man. I see you on a bunch of other shows, but I haven't seen your channel lately. Maybe my algorithm just isn't telling me to check you out. So you know what? I'm gonna get into these slides. We'll wait on Fedora. I gotta get going, man. All right. So, like I said, these are specifically Gen Z characters. It's Fedora's top picks for next generation characters, investable characters. The first one we've talked about, or actually, these three are all his picks. Hold on. All right, and then I'll just kind of delay until Fedora shows up. But beautiful sides, by the way, Fedora. Oh, you haven't been live in months. Oh, okay. I feel you. I kind of feel I might be going that route too. So, Invincible number 1, last 9.8 sold for $3,600. I think that's a great investable character. The biggest thing I feel with Invincible is like the likability of Invincible, the fact that the whole print run is extremely hard to get into, and because the print run's so low, and there's so much future with this character, and I think it speaks to Gen Z. Last sold 3,600. I know it's a lot of money to put into a book, but I feel like 3K is like a good buy-in price if you can get one for 3K. But these are extremely hard to get in a 9.8 regardless. I remember when I first started reading about Invincible and kind of understanding like, you know, all the whole Invincible universe, the books were already hot and I kind of missed the run there. So I never like playing catch up with books though. However, if you got like 36K or 3,600 to invest in, and you are looking for a long term, I think Invincible 1 9.8 is a good bet. Michael Baker, what up, Darth? Good to see you in the chat, man. Michael Baker, Spawn, black and white. This is for you, number 1. Extremely hard to get 9.8 just because of the print run and the black and white kind of like whatever. This was a reprint, obviously, of Spawn number 1. It's a lot more limited than the 5 million copies of Spawn 1 that are out there. So take it for what it's worth. But yeah, number 1 sold for number 1 in 9.8, which has to be a freaking ghost, sold for 3K. Now, I don't know if I could spend 3K on a reprint myself, but I get the collectability of it versus the original newsstand or the original direct copy. What's up, Sequential Geek? Good to see you, man. No, man, you're right on time. You know who's late is Fedora. He's late. But I appreciate this pick by Fedora. 3K, yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's Spawn, and I think it's the best book out of all the number 1s to get. I kind of compare it. I mean, obviously this book isn't worth as much, but I would compare it to the Venom 300 Chromium version in a 9.8. That goes for around $1,000. That'd be my personal long-term pick for modern books that are like, wall books, key books, whatever you want to have it. But yeah, I like this pick. We've been looking at 8.5s in this book, 9.0s, not 9.8s. I never find 9.8s in this book, the Spawn 1 specifically. So for 3K, I understand the value and the price for that book. And Fedora is joining soon. Where is he at? Where's he at? Come on, man. I guess I'll wait until he's here to go into the last book, Walking Dead, number 1, because I don't have a lot to say for it. I still think it's weird that this book is still falling at $2,500. I mean, I think all 3 books on the screen are image books. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think you're onto something, my friend. I think also, like, think about the writers for all books. Okay, Fedora, take it away. Oh my God. Okay, there.
Yo.
Yo, all right, go for it. It's all yours.
Oh, where, first off, where's Pickles? First off,
Pickles had to join his familia for something this morning.
yo, I heard that they cut in 17,000 jobs from Boeing. I just read an article.
He's all right.
Is his job?
You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Wait, hello?
Yeah, you're good. You're back. And you're out again. Where you at, Fedora? Well, that's our show today.
Because if his job is not safe, that means he could spend more time with us, you know?
You know what's funny is the more time that he has, the less time he has to spend with us.
Yeah, you know, that's fucked up.
It's really
that's totally
it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
I'm waiting for the elevator to go outside. So I'm hoping
good.
like this is enough small talk to get me outside.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like I don't know if one of his jobs was one of the ones cut. I doubt it though, because he's pretty high up there as far as skills concerned. So even if he gets cut from Boeing, I mean, he can go to. There's so many other aeronautical jobs around here that he can go to.
I only know Boeing though.
What's that?
I only know one, and that's Boeing.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of companies like here that like they don't make the wings or like the like the engine at Boeing. They just put it together. So like he can work for one of those like outfits.
All right, hold on. I'm going in the elevator. So
okay. All right, yeah, go for it. What is it? Berserker, Simon 1 Dark, Simon Dark 1, Mother Panic 1, X-Force. I never heard of Mother Panic 1. I wonder what that is. First, Mr. Sensitive. New X-Men. Oh, Phantom X. Yeah, I like that one too. Quentin Quire. I've heard that name. I do not know who that is though. Ronan 1's up there too, man. Sequential Geek. I feel like Berserker 1 reminded me of like, I don't know, because there's so many of those books, like copies of that book, but I'm not mad at it. You could probably buy 9.8 or 9.9 for like really cheap. I wonder what floor Fedora's on. Is he like on the 15th floor? And he's gone. All right, we lost Fedora again. So yeah, Walking Dead number 198 sold for 20. So again, I think this is really weird that the Walking Dead number 1 is sold for only 2,500 floor. I feel like that's really cheap. Yes, I do have faith in the House of Reeves. That's right. Comics Embrace, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the chat. We got 8 live, so I want to again. Sorry about all the technical difficulties and the kind of delay on the show. I do appreciate everyone's support for coming through today. I feel like these picks right here, man. If you had 10, if someone had said, "I got 10K, what are the future books I should invest in?" I would say look at these ones and then decide price points. But Fedora is pretty conservative when he tries to find like a price point of a book. So I know these aren't like I'm always trying to figure out what the best prices for people are and the most up-to-date prices are for people. So these are like market prices as of today. So just be aware that if you're trying to haggle for a little bit less, you may not get it, or it's going to be really hard to do that. But so anyway. Yeah, man, for sure. Dora, what the hell? The hype of the show is over. Yeah, it's probably what it is. And it's like, I feel like it's so old, right? That like the memories of kids is going to take like 10 years to cut back into that and be like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I watched Walking Dead. And then who knows? But yeah, you're right. Like the hype of the show is kind of over. I was trying to make an adult cartoon book about Mega Hex. Oh, that's cool. That got canceled from Tom Vigil. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to go to the next one because Fedora is, I don't know. All right. Red Hood Batman. First appearance, Batman 635. This actually holds pretty close to my heart. I've been a Jason I blame it on New York internet. Yeah, dude. Seriously. I think Red Hood, Jason Todd in general, he's my favorite Batman ever. I wasn't really into him when I was a kid, but the fact that you bring back someone from the dead that was voted on.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry about that.
All right, you're good.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. Go back to the first slide so I can run it down. 2 minutes. In 2 minutes.
All right. Hold on. I got two of them here. All right, go for it.
All right. So the first slide, right? So these are my opinions and my opinions only. This is just based on the customers I work with, the clientele that I have, the kids that are born from 2000 to 2008 that collect comic books, that are regulars, that have pull lists. And there's a lot of them, even though you may or may not believe it, because that's just a stereotype now. Gen Z don't read comics. I'm telling you, there's a lot of them that read comics. They're there, they're here, they're in the building every week with a pull list. I know what they read, I know what they like, I know what they dislike, and I know what their dream comic books are. We all know we suck these people off all the time. This is the big three of the Gen Z. So I know Michael Baker's creaming himself right now. He's like, yeah, yeah, Spawn's on this. So the Spawn. We know Gen Z loves The Walking Dead. Because we get a lot of people that come in, like young kids, like just thinking like, oh, it is a comic book store, it'll be cool. And then, we go, okay, well, you could apply, but you got to read comics. Like, what is it that you read? Yo, word to mommy, The Walking Dead and Invincible are the two biggest comics that younger kids say that they read when they want to apply for the show.
Oh, okay. That's actually kind of cool feedback. That's cool.
Yeah. So like anytime, like my manager always says, like, yo, like, if you don't read, there's a good chance you might not get the job. One second, my earpiece came out. Yo, I'm having mad technical issues today.
That's all right. Your earpiece, huh? Cool. I can't hear you, man. There you go.
All right. So, all right. Now, so the first one is The Walking Dead. We know that goes crazy, obviously, all the time. It always goes crazy. The last Walking Dead sale at a 9.8 sold for $2,500. An Invincible #1, 9.8 sold for $3,600. Spawn, black and white, 9.8 sold for $3,000. So yeah, that's it. That's the big three of Gen Z. Quote it, coin it. I thought of that name just now, and now the big three of Gen Z. That's what everybody should say. Oh, this is a holy trinity. This is like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman of the indies. So this is it. So now we can move on from that. Now that we got that out of the way, we could get to the important stuff.
No, that's great, man.
This is Red Hood. So a lot of people who come into the shop when they're looking for trades, if they're asking for Batman stuff, 9 times out of 10, which is 10 out of 10, if it's a girl, she's asking for Red Hood. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, and we never have Red Hood trades. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if he's like popular. I don't really fuck with Batman like that, so I'm not gonna pretend that I do. I don't know anything about Batman like that. I read it. If I like it, I like it. I don't. We don't really have much Red Hood trades. I don't see them come in often. We stock some stuff a lot of the times, but I don't see Red Hood. And then some customers said that they tried to buy a Red Hood trade, and it costed $100 on eBay. I haven't really looked into that because trades aren't really my deal. But I know like the new 52 or the 52 Red Hood trade paperbacks, apparently they go for a lot of money. With that being said, Red Hood is popular, man. Girls like them, guys like them. Mostly like the normie crowd really likes them. People getting into the comics
Uh-oh. It's that New York City internet, man. Yeah, Darcy. You are frozen, bro. That New York skyline. Oh, what's that thing that Elon has, like Starlink or some shit? Yeah. I think New York is saying no to Starlink. Fedora, man, you are frozen like a New York City Christmas tree in December. Does that even make sense? Is that a good analogy? All right, he's back. I think he's back. All right, let's try again. Let's end him back. All right. What's going on? Oh, that's kind of cool. I did not know that. He needs to get on that Google Fi. Yeah, seriously. Killing it, man. This is the last time I ever let him take over a show. You are not the captain now. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, New York Giants. Oh, shoot. My head's in baseball right now, even though my Mariners got destroyed. But is that tonight? Is that Monday night, or is that the Sunday night game? All right, you're back, man. You're back. You're good. You're good. You good? You hear me? Yeah, you're good.
Hello?
You're good. Yeah, go.
Hello?
Yeah?
I can't see the slide.
Oh, god damn it. It's Red Hood, Batman 635.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't really know why the book is low. Do you have any ideas? Because I don't really know about Batman like that, so I can't really.
So what I was saying about this book is I've always been a Jason Todd, like out of all of them, like the best. Like I was like Jason Todd. So I've always actually been looking for this book. I think this DC's just in a lull still. Like it's still in that lull of like comic book blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. But I think what has this going for it is it's like it's hit mainstream. Like Red Hood is like in Fortnite. He's in like other games. Like Pickles played that Batman Arkham game, and I think it's. I mean, like I was saying, like when you buy comics, you don't really want to worry about it going up. You want to worry about it going down. And so I think by 200, 225, that's not a bad deal. If you're like a truist, you probably want to get that newsstand, right? Because like newsstand people, right? But I mean, for a mid 2000s book, man, that's pretty cheap in general. So anyway, want me to go to the next one?
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, Teen Titans number 44.
Yo, bro, this is the big one. This is the one that I don't really understand. I picked up a 9.4 PGX for like $80. It's near mint, so a near mint copy for $80. I got it at my shop. We had it. I saw it, and I was like, I should probably put my money where my mouth is and buy it. And it was a newsstand too, which was even more crazier. So Nightwing is probably one of the top DC characters that people really like. I would put him up there with Batman in terms of like how popular he is. All of his books sell out. His trades sell out. He has a huge fan base with the girls. A lot of girls buy his stuff. There's a lot of younger girls that buy. We had like this compact collection with all of the Chuck Dixon stuff.
Okay.
And a few girls bought it. That's important because we like the female readership is not as high as it needs to be. So every time I see that, like I know, like okay, well something is right with the character. But so raw copies are going to like for very fine near mint to 70 to 100, which I think is kind of low. And CGC 9.8 goes for 260 to 350. And that's just from like the lowest to the highest that I've seen. I don't know how much a newsstand is worth, but this is a book, in my opinion, that should at least be in the $500 to $800 range. Just because of the character's popularity, how big he is, and how much people really like him. If I were to recommend, I would say if you could find this book at a good deal, every time you see it, if it's a good deal, you should just buy it, because I believe 10, 20 years from now, when James Gunn, or even 5 years from now, when James Gunn puts Nightwing in his movies, it's game over. That's it. Especially if the movie is good, you will never buy this book raw for $70 ever again.
Yeah, he's super dark in that DC Max show. He was really good. I gotta finish that Titans show. That's a really underrated show. If you guys haven't watched Titans on HBO, like, it's 4 seasons of goodness, man. Honestly, what year did this book come out? I always forget. Like the 80s?
It's like a copper. I think it might be like a copper or a bronze.
Okay,
not too sure, but yeah.
Cool. All right, on to the next one. Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, this is an interesting pick, but yeah, I agree with your reasonings that we've talked in the past about.
So Ultimate Spider-Man, it's still, the effect is global now. It's not just in America, it's global. Like, I had some tourist, he didn't know a lick of English, he was French, and I was using like Translate on my phone, and he was just, all he kept saying was Ultimate Spider-Man. And then he brought the whole run from like 1 through 9, the reprints, obviously, and he brought like a bunch of single issues of it, and he brought multiple copies to give back to his friends in France, and he was going to keep some for himself. And then he was like, oh, he was trying to ask me, how can you get number 10? And I was like, we ship worldwide. And then he translated like back, like, this is great because I'm just going to order it and get it shipped to France now, so I could have it, or at least try and like figure out what's going on. So we're still selling, like, it's gotten to the point where we're not just selling single issues anymore of Ultimate Spider-Man. We're selling 1 through 5, 1 through 9. People want to read the entire story now, and it's hitting all demographics, all ages. Whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult, from New York to Europe. So this is a lot of people's first Spider-Man book to read. It was mine, and it was a lot of other people. So this is the Spider-Man that a lot of people are going to be growing up with now. So in my opinion, this is a book that you should buy 2, 3, 4, 5 copies if you could get it at a good deal. And the crazy part is, I don't think he can read it, but
he's like, there is an app you can actually like take pictures, like a scanner, and like it'll translate into whatever.
You think that's what he's using?
I don't know, but like, because I'm going to Japan next year. And so I was like, how the hell am I going to get around Japan? And my cousin-in-law, he showed me Google Translate and then this app, because like it translates Japanese into English. Like,
that's crazy.
Like that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry, that's sidebar.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for the side banter. But the crazy part is that this book, like, it's the same prices as the Red Hood Raw, maybe even more, and the Judas Contract, and 9.8's 150, 200. Like, it's in the ballpark of these iconic characters, Red Hood and Nightwing. And I think that's crazy for a modern book, because usually we see it all the time, right? Like, we see a book, a number 1 come out, and then 6 months it's like worth nothing. Mm-hmm. So this one still held its value, and we're almost a year in. So I would say that and a lot of it definitely does have to do with the high demand and the low print. But I don't know. I mean, your thoughts on it?
I like it because the story, like, I'll think of this book and I'll always think of, wow, this book jumpstarted a lot of really good books for 2024. And so that's a really roundabout way to think about it. But in my opinion, I think it holds value because of that. And it's funny because in 2023, and this discussion still on goes, is like, man, everyone, it's just like collector stuff. Like there's just variants out there. Like, what's a good read? And then 2024 came out. We had Ultimate Spider-Man come out. We had Avengers, that Avengers book that I've read 3 times or whatever. And so it was just funny. The irony of it was that, like, all these complaints about shitty characters and shitty stories, 2024 flips, and like, boom, we start off with like 3 great stories. So I think that's what's held it so well. And I'm not too worried about this happening, but like, I looked back at the Ultimate Spider-Man original series by Brian Michael Bendis, and I think what kind of waters that down is they ended that universe. But I saw those books pop up a little bit, and like, to me, because that was such a fun read back in the day, like those are $150 9/8 in my opinion, because I read those back in the day. So I think it kind of has that same kind of connotation for like monetary value 10 years from now. And that's why I like it on your list. And it's impressive that's held the value as well.
Especially if you could get it signed.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
If you could get it signed, I think if you could get multiple signed, that would be great. But yeah, I think a lot of people, well, like you said, just to piggyback off of what you said, it's a good story. There's first appearances, and it's people underordered on it.
Yeah, it's a pricey. It's a cover price wise, man. That's why I only bought 1 copy. I was like, shit, man, this is like $6.90. Wasn't like $7.99, $6.99 out the gate.
I don't remember. I didn't care about it at all.
I just cared about it because I was like, oh, they have kids like in this universe, and I just was generally curious, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that cover. I think you told me about it, but
I did tell you about it. I told you about it, but I didn't give a shit about it. And I'm like, how many, like the staff at my shop that I work at was like, this is gonna be big, and I'm like, oh yeah, just like Spider-Boy was, or just like any other Spider-Man #1 that comes out. And then I went to my other job. I delivered some mail. When I came back for my lunch break, it was all sold out, and I'm like, it's not even 3. Like, how did it sell out?
You know, it's funny. My LCS2 said that a lot of kids, and it wasn't like parents bringing their kids in, but it was like a lot of teeny boppers and like that age range of like 13 to 15, or I don't know, like, you know, like not so much like little kids, but like little like middle schoolers basically. They were coming in buying this book up. So for $5.99 a pop, that's pretty impressive to me. So I like it, man.
We can go on to the next one.
Hold up. I never noticed, but Fedora gives me a most deaf vibe. Let's shout out to Darth Lopez.
Isn't he from New York?
Darth Lopez is from LA.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This was like my favorite one out of all your picks.
This one is so there's a little bit of a backstory as to why I put this. So I was at the shop, you know, chopping it up, doing whatever I do, sorting books, whatnot. And this is why you always need good customer service, because you never know who's going to show up at my store. So there was this old guy, and he had a Kira shirt on. And I'm like, wow, man, like, that's a really cool shirt. We start chopping it up. And then he was like, yeah, I used to do comics back, you know, but back in the day. He's like, I still do. And I'm thinking, like, it's just some guy that does some indie stuff. And then he's just like, nah, man, like, I colored Akira when Marvel was printing it. He was like, I was the colorist for that book. Wow. And then he was like, and I also colored the first 50 issues of Spawn. And then he's like, and I also colored Sandman. And he's in they're making a documentary about Akira, and he's in it.
Wow. So what's his name?
So, Chris Olive.
Chris Olive. Doesn't ring a bell. Maybe Michael Baker knows who that is.
It doesn't ring a bell, but when you look up his, because we had no idea who he was, because who knows the names of colorists. But
I'm
when
like
he
one.
left, yeah. So that dude was like, he's a legend because he was one of the first colorists to.
I can hear you okay, actually, if you want to keep talking.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. But
Yeah.
he was one of the first colorists. So I think he colored the first digital comic, and it was Batman 1989. He said, and then
Wow.
and you remember when Marvel bought out
Thanks for that,
Malibu?
man. Oh man, I do. I don't, but like I remember that happening. But yeah.
So they bought him out because of their color technology. And you know who they called to teach everyone how to use the technology that they purchased? Chris Olive.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So that dude is just a wealth of information. It was a pleasure to talk with him. And
Yeah.
we picked up a Spawn omnibus, and he was just telling me all the issues that he colored and the process. He's great. So on my Instagram, there's an Akira pop-up in New York City. And there was an actual Akira bike that you could take pictures on. And it was like, I didn't go in line because I don't really do things like that. But my friend waited an hour just to take a picture on the fucking bike.
Wow.
So, you know, and it had like art from the Akira. Like it was a really cool showcase for Akira, for Kodansha, the publisher, and it was crowded. And that got me thinking, like, I got to put Akira on this list because I've always known Akira was big, but I just didn't realize that it's bigger than I thought it was, or it's getting bigger now.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, when I was a kid growing up, like manga was it was a weird kind of like group of people that did it. Like you were either like very artsy and like into that scene, or you're like a nerdy rich kid because like a VHS like not dubbed, but a subtitled video cassette was like $40, which back then was like $300. You know, it wasn't that much, but like it was expensive, right? So they would always run these like subscription things or like you know, advertisements for like anime that was 10 years old in Japan but like new to us, and they always highlighted Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, and Akira. And Akira was always the forefront of like, that was the modus operandi of like anime. You know, that was like the best, the anime you always had to watch, right? Akira wasn't the first anime I ever watched. The first anime I watched was Ninja Scroll, but like this was probably the second or third one. And to watch it like today, it still hits the same way it did in 1995 or 1985 whenever it actually came out. So it doesn't shock me that this is 450 and 9.8, even if it's an American version. Manga kids are weirdos. They're rich kids, like seriously. Or like you would go in on like one VHS, right? But for this to go in for 450 today, like 30 years later, I think what the advent of like Japanese culture, like especially now in like art and like streetwear and all that, it's just gonna push it higher. So I think this is why I think this is my favorite pick of yours, because it's a Japanese title of manga, which is like a culture that has just slowly kind of consistently grown. And I think, like you said in the past, like manga hits more with Gen Z as much, if not more, than it did with like millennials like myself. So, and it's easier to consume that. It's easier to consume manga because when it's free online, right? And then there's more digital, like, I mean, you can watch on Netflix, you can watch it on Crunchyroll, whatever. We didn't have that technology or the access to that back in the mid 90s. So it's just getting better. Oh, Michael, Piss of the North Star. I forgot that one too. But yeah, it's just badass stuff. Before I get to the next one, I just want to say thanks everyone for watching. We got 12 live today. No pickles. I did announce at the beginning of the show that our good friend Darth Lopez has decided to go as a free agent. So I released his contract. All guaranteed money was paid. We are under the cap. Just kidding. No, we wish him well and all that good stuff. I don't know where he's going. I've been trying to follow his ass. He was on Beyond Wednesdays yesterday. He was on Immortal Biggie Shack on Thursday. I didn't catch that episode, but wherever you do, man, just let us know where you go so we can support you. And yeah, we'll go on to the next slide. And yeah, Pickles is Johnny according to Fedora.
Oh yeah, he might be.
Yeah, homie. I honestly don't know about it. Like we talked about it, and he don't care because we're homies and stuff. But like, he's not like, I'm not worried about him trying to find a new job. But I think he's kind of the point where like, dude, just like, sure, get off the pot, And he was saying that he's expected not to have a job through like the end of the year. So I don't know.
Oh wait, he did. I think he said that on the pod.
He may have said that on the podcast. So I know he's letting go of some stuff, like New Mutants 9.6. So if you guys are in the market for a New Mutants 9.6, hit him up on Instagram or hit me up and I'll let him know. So
this is the last one. This is the big one. This is
okay.
This is Terrifier #1. This is crazy. Raw copies, $200. Very, very, very low print, black cover, thick book. So you already know this is going to be hard to grade. This is the same reason I put Terrifier with Akira together, because those two books are hard to get at 9.8. Are hard. And good luck finding this book. I don't even know how you got it. I didn't really look into like how you got it. It might have been you had to go to like the movie and then they give it to you or something. Yeah. But the cover is sick, right? This is the first appearance of Terrifier. It's hard to find. There's only like 3 listed on eBay right now, or 4. It's under 5 listed on eBay. A 9.8 is going for $950. Raw copies are selling for $200. Terrifier, we might be experiencing one of like a new iconic horror icon right now in the making. We're witnessing it. We're witnessing history, the birth of a new horror character. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody, and when I mean everybody, it's everybody. The Funko Pops are like double. The fucking comic is selling for $1,000. Like it's
wait, what did you say? The Funko's selling for $1,000?
No, it isn't. The Funko doubled in price. The comic is selling for $1,009.
Oh, okay. I was wow. Sorry, my bad. That's me.
Not yet, bro. But I mean, I could see that happening. Funkos. We had some Funkos. They sold out during the weekend. Man, I haven't seen a horror movie like this captivate a lot of people in a very, very long time. And this is a perfect opportunity to tell people that this might be a really good long-term hold, because there's not that many copies. It's a black cover. It's hard to find it. And yeah, like he's any market of any collectible, his merchandise is going for above MSRP.
I liked this one too because of the crossover collectible thing, right? So I was telling someone about this like a week ago that I was trying to hunt for the VHS. They put a Terrifier VHS out like at Walmart, and it sold out. I went to like 4 different Walmarts. There's not a lot of Walmarts around me, but like I was just curious of like whatever. And I mean, the funny thing about like clowns is like they're always scary, but they've been done like, I mean, there's the It Clown. He's not that scary to me. I mean, just go down the list, right? Ed Gein was like the OG like clown, but like just like sex sells, like horror sells really, really well too. I couldn't watch the whole Terrifier first movie. It was too grotesque for me. I'm gonna try and do it again, but like just the fact that this has a natural cult following, like I would say that this has a better cult following than like The Crow. because like when The Crow came out, that wasn't really a big thing with like with with people. I felt, but this Terrifier movie, it's very organic growth. Like you said, he's kind of like the modern day like Jason or like modern day Freddy Krueger, but there's like no one else alongside with him. There's no other like there's no other Saw or like whatever, right? So I like this pick because of the rarity, because Terrifier's had this organic growth. There's 3 movies. Like Yee's about to go see the 3rd one right now. It's Halloween season, so you have that too. But just for again, the purpose of the show is the long termness of these comics, right? Um, Man, this is a tough book. I actually, when I looked at your slides, I went to try and look for all these books, and they're all like pretty easily attained, right? This one I could not find. I couldn't even find it raw, so it's probably super rare. I don't know what you know what the print count on this book is, or who published it. Do you know?
I don't really know who published it. I think the print count was like 2,000. It was like 2,000 or something like that. It was minimum. But I'm wondering, like, how are you able to obtain it? Because I know that there's one on eBay, and it's signed by everyone, like all the actors, the directors, and they're asking for like way too much.
Yeah, and it's probably like one of those things like they're asking for way too much, right? But they're like, to me, for the rarity, for the upswing of this character, like that's their price point, and they're like, I'm cool with not selling it too, right? So I mean, I think the cover alone, it's pretty, it hits every single comic book and horror fans kind of like I was trying to get I forgot his name. Anyway, I think this hits for like any horror fan cover wise. So it has like one, but yeah, man, if it's only 2,000 print count, man, good luck.
That's what I think. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
because I was looking at some Reddit stuff, but I don't know how you got it. It might have been a premiere for the first movie. You might have showed up and you might have got one. I don't know, but I know it's multiple. It has 4 issues, and they're titled Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Book 4, yada yada yada. And I got a sketch from of Captain Spaulding by the artist who did the comic. Actually, he came to the shop, and he signed a copy of the comic that he did for Rob Zombie, and he gifted it to me. And he gifted me a sketch of Captain Spaulding.
Oh wow! And like those movies, like had the Rob Zombie effect, behind them. But like they're okay movies. I mean, I felt like they were just kind of a rendition of like Chainsaw Massacre, like personally.
Yeah.
But this one's like I've never like it. What makes this movie so creepy is it's almost like the way they filmed it. It was like you were kind of like you were kind of watching it like in the background. That's what makes it so creepy for me. You never seen it? So like one of the first like episodes, he just walks into this random like restaurant where these 2 girls are sitting, and the vantage point where the camera's at, it's like you're sitting behind the 2 actresses. So it's almost like your vantage point's like you're like there, like watching him come in. I think that's what did it for me. I mean, like, and there wasn't like really any music. So it made it even more realistic. Like it wasn't like, the creepy music was coming out. They just filmed this movie like just legit. So
I would imagine there wasn't much of a budget for the first 2 films.
Yeah, like they said it was like $2 million budget.
Yeah, they probably couldn't even afford music. They're probably just
they were like, we can't get the rights to music or whatever. But like, I think they probably spent more money on like blood than they did like anything else because all the gore and shit. This movie is gory, man. It's a tough one to watch personally, but yeah, and that's
I would let the dude whoever did Terrifier. I would let the dude who did that do Garth Ennis's book. Yeah, I completely crossed.
Dude, I read that Cross Zero online just because I was curious what you meant, and I get it. I get what you mean by they can't do that movie. Yeah, it's a little too much, but
even Terrifier was too much from what I heard.
It's dude, I'm not like a gore like I don't like gore, but dude, like I had to stop it. Like I just couldn't watch.
I've seen screenshots of what was going on of some of the unalivings, and I was like, yeah, like this is cool, but Cross takes it to another level in which you can't you just can't do it.
So this cover, what's happening in the on the cover here, is the part where I turned it off. I'll just tell you that.
I've seen the screenshot.
Yeah, it's too much. I was like, this is like, I can't watch this. It's too gross. But anyway, so is this the last one of your books? You got magazines now next?
Yeah, just one magazine. I just wanted
Okay, cool.
So Fangoria Volume 2, number 25.
Oh,
So I've seen raw copies go from 25 to 50. And if for those of you who don't know Fangoria, I'm pretty sure all of you do, but maybe there's one guy who doesn't. This is like the Rolling Stone of like horror magazines. So not many of these are printed, and I know that there's one listed. I know there's one listed on eBay for $20. All of our Terrifier stuff sold out in Midtown Comics. The Fangorias sold out. We only got one copy at my location. There was one copy at our downtown location, and then there was like 5 copies at the Times Square, all sold out. So I know that there's not many of these, and you're probably thinking like, oh, well, if I could, how many subscribers they must have. Well, unfortunately, if you're a subscriber, you get a completely different cover.
oh.
So the subscriber cover is Freddy Krueger. You get a Freddy Krueger, I don't know, anniversary cover. So the newsstand copy of Fangoria is probably very low print. Probably is going to be very hard to find because nobody orders that anymore. So this is his second magazine appearance. His first magazine appearance was on like a special effects, a special effects magazine. But nobody cares about that one. They care about this one. So if you could get it, because I think that there's not much Terrifier merchandise out. So people are trying to get whatever they could get.
This is awesome. What was I gonna say? So did this come out in 2016 when the movie came out?
No, this just came out last week.
Oh, okay.
This came out the same month the movie dropped.
And you may not know the answer to this, but I'm curious if you do. So I'm looking at the first review of Terrifier. It's Starburst magazine from 2016. I don't know what the cover looks like, but would you recommend people buy that if they're looking into this Terrifier like universe, or do you think that's too out there?
So I remember one time like we were having a conversation a while back on like how could we expand the channel? How could we talk about other things? So I was like researching a lot of other like avenues, and then I saw Fangoria when I was at work while I was working, and I was like, I didn't know we sold that. And then there was a few of them. So I really looked into Fangoria and Chucky and all this other stuff. And it seems that like the market is Fangoria for whatever the reason. Like people just like to collect Fangoria stuff. I've looked at like other horror magazines that they might have been in, but I just think the market really likes Fangoria. So just to play on the safe side, I'd probably stick with Fangoria.
And Fangoria is how people my age got information on horror movies as a kid before the internet. Yeah, it was. And speaking of magazine dudes, our boy Tony in the house, Tony and some of the magazine guys in a chat that I'm in, we're going to be doing a show, I believe I don't know whose channel it's on. I just know I'm making myself available to kind of chit chat with him about that. So I may kind of do a little more research on this Terrifier stuff.
Take the Terrifier, take whatever's here and apply it, man. I don't care. So that might be the magazine to have, I think, if you while it's still available cheap.
I like your pick though with that Terrifier. Here, I'll go back to the magazine.
Is that the? Oh yeah. So this is, people were buying pre-orders for like $50 before it came out. So now that I think there's a few left. So there's one for 50 and one for 80, and I think one for 20. So if you can still get them, if you can still get them for 20, I'd say why not? It's MSRP. Um, just get them
And
while
these
you
aren't
can.
flip. I mean, these aren't flips too. I mean, these are like,
You gotta hold
yeah,
it.
yeah. You gotta hold it. Yeah. So, that's dope, man.
Oh, so this is my Sonic top three. I like Sonic. I like to talk about Sonic. Um, Customers love Sonic. I love Sonic. The world loves Sonic. So these are my top three picks. Yeah. So I heard about the that DC Sonic crossover where Sonic and the Flash is gonna have his own comic, and I want to do this cover because if you look closely, you see Ghost Rider, you see Batman, you see Captain America, you see Spider Man, all in there. So this is the first quote unquote crossover, or this might be the first cover where Sonic has multiple characters. Even though it's an homage, like this is it, right? So a 9.8 sold for 250, and raw
Wow.
copies are yeah, right. It's crazy. Raw copies, very fine near mint, are selling $15-$20. So if you could, thanks, I appreciate that, brother. That's why I'm here. So if you could find this for 15-20, I mean, I guess the market for like even a Sonic book that means absolutely nothing, it's 15 or 20, right? Like even if
Yeah.
it's nothing is going on, especially if it's Archie. Um, so 250 is crazy.
Yeah. And think about how hard this would be to do today with all the freaking legal bullshit. There's
Yeah,
no way. And to have it on an Archie brand, like if Marvel and DC were like, okay, we'll do like a song, but it has to be on DC or it has to be on Marvel. They would never let, like nowadays, they would never let that happen on Archie. So like to me, like this is cool, regardless if it ever happens again. But if it does happen again, then people are gonna look for this book.
but
This is great.
exactly, this is the first. This is the OG, and 250. It shows that like this is like 250 to me is a healthy number,
Yeah.
and that's
Hmm.
probably because this is probably hard to get in like a 9.8. I don't really know. I didn't really check the specifics, but this is definitely a cool one, and I'm probably gonna buy a bunch of them just so I could see if I could get them graded. But that's for another day.
Hmm.
So a girl walks into the shop. She was like maybe a little younger than me. She's like, "Yo, you got Sonic Archie?" And I'm like, "Nah, but I know about it. What are you looking for?" And she's like, "I'm looking for the first appearance of Scourge." And I was just like, "Definitely don't have that here." So then she left, and then when I went home, I mean, obviously I know who Scourge is, but I was curious because like if somebody who this is somebody who doesn't read comics, and she was just asking because she likes the character and she wants to own it, right? So I looked for it, and then a CGC 9.8, $175, crazy, right? And raw copies are selling anywhere from 30 to 90. Um, Very fine to near mint. This is kind of like mid to high grade. And with the Sonic movies coming out and the Sonic TV shows, I was really surprised at how prominent Scourge is as a character, and
Hmm.
he's kind of like cool Sonic. Like Sonic is cool, but this is even cooler Sonic. Like this is like when Urkel turns into Stefan or Raquel.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is him.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering if at any point we'll see him, um, because they're doing the Knuckles Chaotix in a show, and I
Oh,
thought that
cool.
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So
Is that
um,
show gonna be on what Paramount? Is that right?
I don't, probably Paramount because they own it, or maybe
They
like
own it.
Nickelodeon or some shit.
I guess it's a better question. Paramount owns like anything like streaming wise for Sonic, or do you know?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay,
They own
I just
Nickelodeon
wasn't
and
sure.
shit.
Yeah.
Um, but this is cool. And it's even crazier if you hit the next slide.
Yep.
I think this is the last slide.
Yep.
Sonic Archie 196, the first Super Scourge, CGC 9.8, $343. Raw copies are selling for 150. to 200. Very low print, very hard to find, and good luck getting a 9.8. So
Sure.
this is going more crazy than the first appearance, which to me doesn't make sense. But
I'm looking up right now. Just curious.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, there's only 3 listings, period, of this book.
Yeah. Yo, look at this mook. Click the $4,000 one. Look at this mook. $4,000. You're doing too much, pal.
I mean, the other one. So a 9.6 is 757 best offer, and it's a newsstand. So I mean, if I was going to choose between one or the other, I'd probably go with this one, you know. But
The cover is sick though.
the cover, you know, dude. Like when I first saw it, this slide. Here, let me go back to the slide. What the hell? I thought of like level 4 Super Saiyan Goku.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even think of Sonic. Yeah, I thought totally like
Yeah, that's definitely where they got the inspiration from.
Yeah.
But Sonic, like they're doing Lego sets now. They're doing like mad crazy stuff, and I know the DC crossover. They said that the DC crossover is gonna expand to video games, movies. Like this is just with the comics, what we're just seeing is level 1.
Mhm.
So I expect a lot of this. I expect Sonic to kind of blow up once these come out. I was a little bit surprised that the internet didn't go crazy for this crossover as much as I thought that they would. Because everybody's going crazy for the Naruto Ninja Turtles, and I kind of think that they may have overshadowed it a little bit, no pun intended. So we'll see. Like, I guess when they start showing like concept art of the characters interacting with each other, I think that that's what people might be excited about. But yeah, that's it. This is the Fedora show.
I'm the captain now. All right, cool. Well, that was really good stuff. I mean, I think whenever you ask me to do a show and I give you the keys, you take it from a Honda to a Ferrari every time. So appreciate you with those slides, man. The Terrifier stuff's pretty cool. I think if you are like looking for that $20 like long-term book, that's the one to get. But all your other ones are like pretty safe investments. I think the one thing that you did well on these is you gave a good range of like, hey, these are the market prices for them. If it's too much for you, then maybe sit it out. But if you're like, oh, I thought that was a $60 book, it's only going for 20. I mean, that's kind of what the purpose of the show is, you know. So yeah, really fun stuff, man. I really enjoy it.
These are good because you could kind of because I wanted it to be like you can buy multiple of these, and no matter what, if you have to wait 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10, 20 years, that's gonna appreciate. So I guess you could call them blue chips, you know, because I know that like even though like Red Hood and Nightwing are like the lowest I've ever seen, they're gonna go up.
Yeah.
So
over time, sure.
Yeah. So, you know, James Gunn, it's gonna be even harder if he fumbles. Then I'm gonna be like, fuck. But there's still good books to have if he fumbles the movies.
Yeah, and if this is what will happen, right? Like if that's the truth, if there's such a like eye of the storm with DC books right now, people are kind of have their like, I'm getting out of comic books, or like I don't know if I want to invest in them, or I bought too many at 2021, 2022, or even in 2023, I think it was, maybe it was the year before, when James Gunn was announced as the producer of DC, and those books went up. They've gone down again. So again, like you always want to try and get that floor like close to. And you always don't want to get like at the peak. So like point I'm trying to make is like if you're looking to buy this upon Nightwing or Red Hood or these people going to be casted or whatever, it's gonna go up because that's how the market just reacts. Until it doesn't, it does, right? So it's a nice opportunity to buy these like now, because these key characters, I wouldn't even call them like B characters. These are like A characters to me. Are lower or back to where their norm is prior to any of these announcements being made. So yeah, and I'm always on the lookout for them too. So anyway, all right. Well, that's the show for today. Quick 1.5 minute show. Before we leave, though, I want Fedora to give his little shout out to the New York baseball teams and what he thinks is going to happen to him to let us go.
Listen, listen. It's gonna. This season has been tremendous. Let's go Mets. Let's go Yankees. See, I got the half Mets, half Yankees. We in there. Subway Series 2025 or 2024. I don't even know the year anymore. Last Subway Series, I was there. I was a kid. The Yankees won, and I was like, yeah. Listen, this is monumental. The last time the Mets and the Yankees have won a game in the playoffs, they have went to the World Series. We might be seeing that. Let's fucking go, Grimace. Thank you, Grimace. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your service, Grimace. He really pulled the Mets out of the rut. Fucking Stanton, yo, I was shitting on this fucking guy Stanton all year. I was like, Stanton, you a bum. Stanton, you this. Stanton, you that. Listen. I fucking salute you, Stanton. Yo, when listen, he showed up. He was like, out of all people to fucking show up, and I know you're gonna say, oh, but he showed up last season. Oh, but he showed up the season before that. No, this was the season. If the season wasn't gonna happen, listen, all I'm saying is this was crazy. He showed up in the most pivotal season ever. And then look at this fucking bum Aaron Judge. He can't even fucking hit an ass.
The bum Aaron Judge.
Look at this fucking guy. He could, what he did, he ain't do nothing. Juan Soto, he did a little bit of something, but the bottom half showed up. Jazz Chisholm, he stole that base quite literally. That he had Kansas City crying. They were like, they touched him. Who cares? What about all those strikes that were fucking supposed to be balls? I seen it. So don't fucking cry. And then what about the ball that literally hit the white line and you see the dust from the line kick up, and then they still called it a fucking
foul ball?
A foul ball, What about that? Listen, maybe fucking get fucking Bobby Witt Jr. to fucking hit a ball. And then you have fucking Patrick Mahomes acting all cute to his fucking friend. Well, guess what? Now you're at the back of the line again. So yeah, that's my rant. Fucking Stanton, he's the man. I would never say anything bad about him ever again. Fucking Aaron Judge, they paying you too much money to fucking not show up.
That's right. All right. Well, that's a show for today. Thanks everyone for coming through. You all have a great Sunday.
Yo, let's go Grimace.
Let's go Grimace. I don't even know what that means, but I think I do know what it means. But you all have a great day. Thanks, Fedora, for your great education today. You all have a great day. And